Immunity and health. In this video, we will learn about some important points related to the topic immunity and health. How a good immune system supports healthful living. What is the role of healthy lifestyle in fighting infections? Each day, we are constantly exposed to potentially harmful microbes of all types. Our immune system protects against these harmful microbes as well as certain diseases. It recognizes foreign invaders like bacteria, viruses, and parasites and take immediate action. Innate immunity is a first line defense from pathogens. It includes skin, which acts as a barrier in the entry level, mucus, which traps pathogens, stomach acid that destroys them, enzymes which are present in sweat and tears, and it also comprises of the immune system cells that attack foreign cells which enter our body. The second type of immunity which we have is adaptive or acquired immunity. And as the name suggests, acquired immunity is developed with certain time, and once a foreign substance enter our body, antibodies are produced, and which leads to multiplication of immune cells, which include different types of WBCs that are specific to that harmful pathogen or foreign substance. And in the acquired immunity, it adapts itself by recognizing the foreign substance if it tend to enter our body again. So it recognizes it that yeah, it has attacked before also, and it has already developed an immunity against it, so it knows how to deal with it. It is regulated by cells and organs in our body like spleen, thymus, bone marrow, and lymph nodes. So let's come to the topic supporting healthy immune system. So a proper nutrition can help support optimal immune function. If we are having a good immune system, it reduces the impact of infections, and this can be achieved by eating a balanced diet with whole fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, and plenty of water. So a balanced diet supports a good immune system. So basically, a balanced diet comprised of range of complex carbohydrates, lean proteins, many types of vitamins, minerals, which are working together for proper metabolism and immune function. A variety of food is needed to increase nutrient diversity. So the nutrient diversity should be maintained in the plate. That means variety of food items should be included. Half of the plate, you can get idea from this that half of your plate should contain a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. So half of the plate should be covered with fruits and vegetables. 1/4 of the plate should contain whole grains and or complex carbohydrates like brown rice, whole wheat, or high fiber food. Then 1/3 to 1/4 of the plate should include lean proteins like eggs, fish, chicken, tofu, and beans. So these types of items can be included. Now let's learn about the impact of severe calorie restriction. So research has been done to demonstrate that protein calorie malnutrition increases the risk of infection. And how? By decrease in natural killer cells and antigen specific immune cells. So this is not at all recommended going for severe calorie restriction, as it tend to decrease the immunity of the body. Now again, suboptimal carbohydrate may alter the immune response to exercise and inflammation. That means that if you are having a low carbohydrate diet, if an athlete is exercising on low carbohydrate diet which is less than 10% of calories from carbohydrate, Then there is a elevation in stress hormone compared to those which are consuming adequate or higher carbohydrate diets, because during exercise we need energy and which is coming from the carbohydrate. But if someone is exercising on low carbohydrate diet which is very less, around less than 10% of the calories, then there would be increase in stress hormone, and exercising is depleted carbohydrate diet can cause greater fall in WBCs. So again the immunity goes down. Consuming 30 to 60 grams of carbohydrate during exercise can prevent a decrease in T lymphocytes as well as reduction in stress hormones. So we can conclude that adequate carbohydrate is essential for proper immune function and levels of stress hormone. Now let's learn about the factors which are present in our diet that support a healthy immune system. Vitamin C. Normal plasma vitamin C concentration is 50 micromole per liter. Vitamin C supports epithelial barrier function against pathogens and promote the oxidant scavenging activity of skin, needed for the development of many immune cells. Levels fall significantly during common cold, thus requiring supplementation. So, you must have heard that doctors um, give prescription of some extra vitamin C tablets when a person is suffering from common cold. During an active infection, about 1 gram per day may be needed in some with some indication of higher doses. The effect of vitamin C on upper respiratory tract infections, such as common cold, has also been studied in several trials. Vitamin C supplementation significantly decreases the incidence and severity of common cold in people under heavy physical stress. And there are several sources from which we can get vitamin C, and it must be included in diet. So you can see there are many sources. Specifically it is found in citrus fruits like oranges, lemons, and strawberries. It is found kiwi, guava. It is very rich in vitamin C. Bell peppers. So you can include all these items in diet. So here is an easy recipe of lemon tea which could be made easily by any person. So there are many health benefits of lemon tea. Firstly, it helps us to ease of the symptoms of cold and flu. It regulates blood circulation, good for nausea. It is good for cardiovascular health. It is a good source of antioxidants. So it protects the body against cancer, and it is good for sore throat, good for skin. If you add some honey, you can get energy, feel energetic after having a cup of lemon tea. Now, vitamin D. It supports healthy immune system, brain health and memory function, promotes calcium absorption, protection of from many types of cancers, linked to weight loss, emotional balance. So, D is basically we get vitamin D by exposure to UVB radiations of the sun. So, it is recommended to have some sunbathing daily. And a part of this, some good sources of vitamin D are seafoods like fish and eggs, milk, mushrooms, etc. Now let's see about immunity and vitamin D. So recently the term cytokine storm is coming up, especially after the COVID times. So basically cytokine storm results from a acute sudden increase in circulatory levels of different pro-inflammatory cytokinins, and this increase in cytokinins result in influx of various immune cells like macrophages, neutrophils and T cells from the circulation into the site of infection with destructive effects on human tissue, including lung injury. So basically, in simple terms, we can say that in this condition, the body starts to attack its own cells and tissues rather than just fighting off the virus. So vitamin D is especially known for its ability to reduce the cytokine storm that contributes to the pathogenesis of various viral infections, including COVID-19. Vitamin D seems to be able to reduce severity of the disease, but larger trials are needed to so that we can get a definite answer to this. Vitamin A. Vitamin A and its metabolites are immune enhancers that have been shown to potentiate antibody responses to T cell dependent antigens, increase lymphocyte proliferation. It protects epithelium and mucous integrity in the body. Vitamin A has an anti inflammatory role. Now let's talk about vitamin B12, which is also known as cobalamin. This is a water soluble vitamin and it is very important for metabolism of body cells. It is important cofactor in DNA synthesis. It supports epithelial barrier function against pathogens and also promotes oxygen scavenging activity of the skin. It is mostly found in animal products like milk, egg, meat, chicken, fish. Vitamin B12 and folate are involved in immune functions by their involvement in nucleic acid and protein biosynthesis. Folate or folic acid. Folic acid is man-made form of folate, which is a B vitamin. It is known as vitamin B9 and it is found in certain fruits, vegetables and nuts. Folic acid is found in fortified foods and folic acid and folate helps the body to make healthy red blood cells, that is RBCs. Folate play a crucial role in nucleotide synthesis, nucleic acid production and protein biosynthesis, and thus it may affect the immune cell proliferation and responsiveness. So it is a very important vitamin. So here you can see various sources of folic acid in diet: broccoli, egg, meat, cottage cheese or paneer, beans, then greens, spinach, walnuts, and you can get folic acid from beetroots also. And once you switch to balanced diet in which you are eating a variety of foods, you can easily fulfill your folic acid requirements in diet. So we can say that vitamin B9 and B12, that is folic acid and cobalamin, they play a crucial role in healthy balance of immune system, and inadequacy in these vitamins can drastically alter the immune response by affecting production of nucleic acid, protein synthesis, and inhibiting the activity of immune cells and interfering with metabolic processes occurring in the body. Niacin. Dietary precursors of nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide (NAD), including nicotinic acid and nicotinamide, are collectively referred to as niacin or vitamin B3. Vitamin B3 is highly lung protective and should be used as soon as coughing begins. Good sources of niacin include peanuts, broccoli, chicken, meat, fish, mushroom, bell pepper, cereal, legumes, seed, milk, green leafy vegetables, coffee, and tea. Vitamin B6 supports many important reactions between different parts of the immune system. It is found in green vegetables, chickpeas, cold water fish like salmon and tuna. Vitamin E is a antioxidant vitamin and it helps to protect cells from oxidative stress. It is found in nuts, seeds, wheat germ, green leafy vegetables, avocado. Now let's discuss about certain minerals which are important for immune function. Number one is zinc. It has a role to play in antiviral immunity, and the deficiency of zinc in body is being reported to increase the susceptibility to infectious diseases. It has also been given as a treatment in reducing mortality by severe pneumonia. It decreases the oxidative stress of the body. Now let's discuss about the best sources of zinc in diet. Nuts and seeds. You can try mixing different types of dry fruits like almonds, walnuts, raisins, cashew nuts with seeds like watermelon seeds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds and sesame seeds. Use this mix as a snack, or it can be used for garnishing salads, desserts, cereals. Then consume fish at least twice a week. Meat products like chicken are also good options. Eggs are good in zinc. Then curd gives a good amount of healthy bacteria for your gut health and also provide ample zinc for immunity. Then chickpeas, that is chola, and it provides a good amount of zinc. About 100 gram of chana gives 1.53 milligrams of zinc. Then berries, which include blueberries, raspberries, these are also great source of zinc. The bioavailability of zinc is influenced by high fiber diets and their phytate content because of the binding of zinc by these components in plant-based food, particularly in grains and legumes. So dietary phytate is known to be a contributory factor for zinc deficiency. In the next video, we'll discuss about some more minerals, phytochemicals, probiotics, prebiotics that contribute to support our immune system.